Good morning, folks. Afternoon, whatever time it is, a day where you are, over in where the fuck you are. It's very late here. Yeah, 1:17 a.m. on 18th day, second month, 2023. I couldn't sleep seeing what I'm seeing, so I'm going to give you a warning real quick. First things that's bothering me is what's this is just your thunderstorm forecast for the next. I'm going to roll you a couple days of this. This is some big stuff coming up, but Northern Territories is my biggest concern for heavier totals coming, as well as I see something blowing up headed. It's off the coast of Townsville, Ingham. Up here, I'll show you. This is my major concern. As this, what I call a land cane, farms over the center of the country. All the conditions that would keep what you would see as a hurricane or a cyclonic system can be made. Those dynamics over land with chem and stuff, and you're about to go through a very fierce period of heavy thunderstorms across most of your nation, coming over the next 36 and 48 hours. Yeah, so this is a get your arcs ready. You become aware. You are ready. You are knowledgeable. You know what to do. In certain situations. Do not get caught in a roof without one of them max pry bars or something to smash your way out and rope. You will instinctively run upstairs in heavy waters. So you make that part of your stuff for having your roof and hang it up on a rafter where you could easily get it off next to a wind-up flashlight in case you get caught in the dark. Flotation devices, I think, could save lives. I'm just going through my head of what can I learn from what cost lives this week and last year almost to the day in Lismore. Shall never be forgotten. The lessons of what to do, how to prepare, and how to not panic because you know how to prepare. Right? I do not do fear porn. I do prepare porn, if you have to call it some kind of pornography, to be fixated on a disaster, because this is terrible. I would rather be going to sleep. So I'm going to show you some of what these pop-ups that are coming up very suddenly over here. This is a very big concern, so I'm going to go here straight off. Right, this is over the last hour. This creeper is coming. It looks like all the forecasts have it headed that way, but all the indications, the chem say she's going to come to Townsville. So this island's going to play a big part of this. The chem-wise, it's all whited out. Right, as I go past Palm Island here over Townsville, you can see them blowing this storm up, and it's not going along with what's forecasted. It was forecasted for the storm to come this way, but I see it clearly coming down. So I have to give you heads up, Townsville. They didn't tell you nothing, but I see all the bombs indicating it. You see them over here, how they made this? Here, watch. I'll go back. This is 4 hours. This was 9 o'clock. So that is 4 hours and 20 minutes ago. Let me move my keyboard so I can access the arrows to go back and forth. Here we go. I'll wave my wand around here. I wish I could make all this disappear. But if I could cure one backache at a time, that would be nice. That's right, I'm picturing somebody in my head. Let's send some healing energy my way, so I'll channel it to him. Yep. Get it back is bothering. Look at these bombs going off. This is bothering my eyeballs to see it. I'm not going to be very loud because everybody's being respectful here, so. But they know I do this at night. Oh my God. Look at the line of chem here off your coast. That's going to be influence on the weather. I'm just jumping back. Right. This is headed that way. All this should be going off, right? Streamering. Have all the, would you say that all this is fizzling in the air? The fizzlers. The fiddler with no proof. Somebody said he was a fizzler. Boom, 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 boom. The bastards, the bastards. Boom, 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 plum, 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 plum. Those bitches. My gosh, look at this. Look at these line of bombs here between Air and Townsville. That's got to be toxifying the air of Air. And we did pick up a rather high reading. It looks like it was in it between a 7.5 and 8. Because some of the picture of it is laying on colors. So if you take a picture of one, make sure you've got like a white underneath it. Don't put other colors because it makes it confusing for me to look at. But I could do a determine, and it was about 7.25 on that picture. Look at the funny face there, huh? Geoengineering sucks, and I'm very very concerned about this storm because it's all the flows say that should do a spinner. That should all the dynamics of this area should turn that. So it wasn't forecast to go to Townsville, but I see it's going to town right now. I'm gonna have to load this on something a little bit different. So I want to pick up the dynamics in the center of this storm. What I'm looking for is that temperature changes in geometric formations like triangles and things that we're used to seeing in these bombs up here before. I could see 3 light dots right here. See that there? So that's straight left. So this is going to take a couple seconds to load. So we'll just put off with it. Yeah, I should be sleeping right now. I wouldn't sleep knowing that there's some harm coming. So while that does that, I'll go back to this. So right, that's what's forecast now. I'll show you, but there's a couple really dangerous cells now, like this one over here north of the monument over here. This here is tendriling like this, and it's been doing hook trails. I've been watching it most of the night. Boom. Well, in between watching that Ant-Man movie, wow, that was intense. Some cool concepts in there. Boom. Yeah, I want to go see the new one that came out in the theater today, so I had to watch the first one. Wow, look at that coming through. This is going to be some big, thick tendrils here. They're going to be packing a wallop of moisture. So the only way I'm really going to see that, maybe it'll tell me. So that right there is it's over a centimeter an hour falling in these thicker bands right here as they come over. So even 15 minutes of that's going to drop by quite a bit, right? If that's stalled over you, you get 4 or 5 of those go over in a day, you'll get a lot of rain. That's even these lesser bands. That's a lot an hour. It really is. So what I want to do now is give you a quick forecast part of what they're saying is going to happen, but all the dynamics I'm pretty much agreeing with, and all the chemists telling me when you look up here and you look in Carpentaria, you can clearly see all the chem is set for the flow to come this direction. All of it. All the bombs, all the everything's going that way. It's still not loaded all yet. We'll just patient it out. Patience. Yeah, the abomination. Yeah, yeah. Ow. Can't bomb in this nation. Ow. Ow. Really, nobody can sound worse than that. Unless you heard him in practice. Oh, he went there. All right, I want to have a look at this over here in Townsville, what's blowing up. You know, all the flow says I should stay offshore, and it's just a shadow maker, right? Puts a shadow out, so it creates a thermal flow. But all the chem bombs meet, and it says this sucker's going to storm. So we got to watch this one very closely. All the forecast says it's come this way. You can see an EMF blast come through here. Look, clears it all out. Or was it a bomb deployment that had some kind of catalyst? Like if I had a deck like this and I put something real cold on top of it, it should vaporize the cloud. And I'm not seeing a temperature change that would be indicative of that, right? So something else was deployed. There's another reason why that went on. That could be an explosion itself, and the percussion ring itself could have done that pressure change. Might not always do enough temperature like the bombs going off in this one right here in the center. You got 2 bombs there. You know, see if I saw some in the center, so it'll be real easy to pick up. 1, 2, 3 there, and a crescent chem. Got a hooker there. There you go, 1, 2, 3 again. So there's something deploying along the line in there. See right there, the clover appeared. Now I'm going to jump 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes into the clover. Say some bomb has gone up top and done that. Even seeing from the side, it might make a tower to cast a shadow that looked almost square across the sky. Got 3 bombs going off here near Georgetown. Exploding off, toxifying your sky. Whether you're talking about some plume in Ohio, these pluminazis have done this over the sky between Georgetown. The Battle of Georgetown is on. Where's Cornwallis when you need him? Will Lafayette save the day over Normanton? No. Burketown and Bougie. Oh my God, there's Bougie for you. You guys are gonna get a lot of rain. Oolagoodarang. Gonna need a boomerang because the weather come back to haunt you again. The Kembamarang. Here they come. The Flamerang with the Kembamarang. Yeah, yeah. I'm running out of patience. Kembamination. And you're walking the streets at night and people staring at their phones. They're not even looking up at the sky that's reflected in the phones. And all they're worried about is, how is my hair for the next picture? I better put a filter on so I am not looking like my real self while I'm looking for a real man. I love that one. Or a real man looking for a real girl. And here's my car. Right? You got a car manufactured in a factory. Wow. You could just be leaning on your mates. Look at this thing looking like a head blowing out some shit. That's not a naturally occurring cloud formation in a line like that. This is a chem bomb deployment right here in this line. It's got an emanation point here. So something could shoot out from here. Programmable deployment paths. Predictable wings that you can bend on a paper airplane to make it do very specific spirals and loops. So to start thinking with your head of simple non-mechanical things that when you dropped it and it fell, what could you do with it? What could you do with thermals? What could you do with fireworks? You could damn sure do this with it. You see all this sickness streaming over here? I'm trying not to look. As this chemtrail streams across, makes its appearance. Hi, have a chemtrail, something a little more traditional, made with a jet plane, not the bomb method. You have a lot of methods. Microwaves with bombs nucleating in them to create fields of EMF. See, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Domino. Ooh, ooh. It's not Orion, the hunter. You're just being hunted by the hunters. You got a president, his youngest named Hunter. He's just gave a tattoo of the Finger Lakes on his back. You should look into that one. It's a whole conspiracy. Hey, you want to really hear something about a new kind of sauce? It's called Frazzle Drip. You ought to look that one up. Yeah. A Hillary's secret cookbook. The Clintons Frazzle Drip. Ellen DeGeneres has a couple recipes in here too. You should look this up. It's shocking. And then maybe you'll understand what I was just telling you. You're being treated like a product. There's some bombs going off in here. Look at the temperature drip. It's minus 90. The gray area in between, so there's about a 5-degree drip. So it's cascading down and warming up as the cold air is falling. Cold air will sink, remember? Sinking. I think the air is stinking. The bomb is a punch in the nose and the blood, and it flows from the particles in my nose. And now the air is stinking. It does. I hear your ear smells like shit. Some people say they worked open up the door. It was like walking into an ass. You didn't even know it. Or am I exaggerating? They said it smelled like shit. And farts. Some people say their outside smells like metal. Someone said it smelled like fireworks. So I asked them, look, was there a celebration last night? I'm waiting for someone in your town blowing off a bunch of fireworks, because if that's an unusual smell in your area, and picking up a 7.5 on a litmus paper, if just from rain hitting it, that was done very carefully. Just hold it outside and it got wet. Got some rain on it. I got the rain on it. It is what was said in the exact wording here, and I will thank the fans for that. I could tag them for that. Friends, you did exactly what I asked you, and thank you. I got people now, they're hanging them on the clotheslines with rain or shine. Let them sit there for a day and tell me what it says. The mist and the dual activated. If you got acid settling on it in particles or precursors, as they call it sometimes, of sulfuric acids, the ingredients to make it, and it forms, then it's forming on the leaves in your garden. All right, so let's catch this on the clothesline. Dry days, everything. You got industry in your town, tell us when you get your readings, and I want to see pictures of these from all over the world. I want to determine what the air is. Is it acid? Are we having acid in the air so thick that it's burning the trees, and we can step and putting it in the air because it's acid rain? Laws against toxic rain, Clean Air Acts are already in place to destroy the use of this stuff in our skies. And the sulfur plumes, I can show you Or you want to see the sulfur? Here's SO2. Here's sulfur dioxide plume. What I was using this very specifically for was to track the plume in the United States of where is it going. All right, here's how much sulfur plumes of dioxides. I expect a lot of that over some of the main cities, right? But to see the big plumes over down here tells me you got a huge deployment. And this is let us passive where the stinky air is. Now the flow of this plume here was coming up here, right? It got worked into here, but it's being worked this way. There's very little of that smoke from Ohio. It's going to go anywhere but up here, which means it's going to go all around this area here is woods and all around the bay up here. This is the Northwest Passage. If you straighten this out and put it around the outside of a map of the world that was, you say was flat, you would actually see the map of the Northwest Passage that they were trying to do, and they saved vellum by putting it on the outside of a border of a map. I just wanted to throw that out there because this is reminding me of that map. And so a lot of this could go on ices and stuff here that'll slowly melt and dilute into the ocean. The ongoing catastrophic effects of that one disaster is being lied about and covered up. It will not be protected with wearing a bandana on your face. The actual chemical had its harm changed recently to say it wasn't harmful in causing cancers that it said it caused before. This is fact. And there's Wayback Machines that look at the data to show this. There are a lot of heavy sulfur plumes around the planet. Sometimes these can be caused by volcanism. Like when I look over here, I expect to see it around Stromboli and Mount Etna and this over here. I expect to see it around Herculean and some of the places in Greece where there's hot springs and stuff like that, right? I don't always expect to see it there. I dang sure don't expect to see it here. But they're doing a lot of fracking and stuff here too. You'll see this around where there's highways and stuff like that too. So sometimes I have to come down here and add a few more layers. So I'll come down and look at a few of the other gases. Yeah, I can look at your aerosols, your ozone layers. Now I go to the aerosol layers is usually this type stuff. I'll show you how heavy it is. How hard is it going to be to breathe that day? Yeah, particle animation, I could turn that off. That's just winds. Right, so I could see. Yeah, different levels. And you're going to learn these grades. I'm not going to go through that tonight. Surf, how much is down low? I tell you ozone's bad, but some people use treatments for their health. Figure that one out. How much CO is carbon monoxide? It's bad. You'd be hard breathing. So that's through this turf here. Do you have a lot of industry through here? Because that's where you'd be expecting to see that. And I wouldn't see that here. But you do have a lot of fracking ponds evaporating after the stuff that they pump back out of the ground. That increases methane concentrations. It increases CO concentration. All the gases we're trying to avoid, supposedly, when the global warming is clearly being caused by chemtrails, chem-bombs, and chemical catalytics and microwave weaponry. Because it's being used for weather war. It's a fucking weapon. That's just cut and dry definition. Learn your English. And right here is a storm that's about to impact the northern territories in a very bad way. Queensland's going to get exactly what I said earlier. And this storm seems to be tracking in a way that's not been predicted. And that's why it came back on here at 1 o'clock in the morning to tell you. Let's see if I'm even rolling. Melbourne. Melbourne, I'm very surprised actually when I seen your, let's see if I could pull up a couple. Your SO2 is very low, which surprised me. And this one here, the oxides of nitrogen. You always pick those up around city. High combustion, catalytic converters, oxides of nitrogen. When you ain't burning your fuel right, you get too hot, it'll make it. It just happens. It's always, you see these pollutions over your cities. Always, 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 always. But look at the concentrations when you're looking at the coastal roads in the cities and the rush hours. You expect to see it. I don't always expect to see it over around here. It's a surprise. So I'd like to know a little more about that area. Is it a satellite city? Is there a lot of industry here? Or what's evaporating in the sky that's giving off the oxides of nitrogen? Or in this place it's NO2, nitrous oxide. Yeah, bottle that, man. Maybe to make you should get better mileage and go faster. Honest officer, I couldn't know I was going through a nitrous oxide plume. Maybe you could take this to court and get out of a speeding ticket. Yeah, I never thought of that before. Especially near Newcastle, man. Have a good ride on that road and challenge this. That was surprising. Well, yeah, he was going through some nitrous at the time. Now, I don't expect to see any of that up here. There's not enough big cities in rush hour. I expect to see it at Darwin. I'm not surprised to see it here because you got a place out here that they process gases and things like that, and a refinery is out here with lots of cooling fans and more cooling fans than I've ever seen in one location. So 300 of them last check. Guy says they're not surface air coolers, but I also said, do they ever mist them off to cool them? Yeah. Do you ever clean them with certain chemicals? Yeah. Is that just decided by you, or does something say it's due now? Yeah. So geoengineering can tell you with a computer to do push a button and do something. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. But I've never seen big plumes of steam come from out there. I have to say this. I'm very honest because I suspected it. You want to see it? This might go blank for a minute. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Surface air coolers. And they can be used to geoengineer the planet by steaming up the atmosphere. And we'll go right to this one. It's right around this end. I'll show you. Give it a minute to clear up. Bwah ha 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 ha. I'll give it a minute to clear up. These are surface air coolers. I'm going to show you some fans. You want to see some fans? There are hundreds of them here. And yes, these are surface air coolers as well. And he never could convince me in a way that the questions I asked actually told me it's possible for them to do what I suggested. And it's a big refinery. So I expect to see those gases released in the atmosphere, even though it's considered a greenhouse gas and they shouldn't be being released. And I don't know what's in these evaporation ponds, and that could very well be a source of it. What's in this? And that's designed to hold something that evaporates. And the evaporation goes in the air, and where does that go? Into the clouds, catalyzes into other things. So there's hundreds of those out. So that's a new thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody will tell me. That would be cool. That's a new thing that wasn't there before. As we zoom out of Australia. Somebody said I don't know where Harp is. I probably have it marked. But that's not this show. Doink! Right. And yeah, isn't this where Birding's Flats is? Whoever knows about Birding's Flats, know what you got down here? You got a synchrotron. You got a mini CERN. And that's what I keep saying. Why does all these CMEs keep triggering while Oz is facing the sun? Is it possible the synchrotron is a cause of the increased electrolink? So you see the oxides of nitrogen around Auckland. So you can see business as usual is going on here. Down was these suburbs I was worried about, the flats. Yeah, that one island, I really got it that what I can't pronounce it. But you poor folks, just please bless this place. Give all kind thoughts to these folks. That anybody who's missing can finally get in touch with their parents, or their parents get in touch with their kids. Please, there's so many worried people out there right now. So we're going to think beauty today toward there. We're going to bless the passage of the souls of these people who were killed by the geoengineers this week. Private corporations that fund this. It's very saddening to me. And I'll never ever let the world forget what they did there. I'll never let the world forget what they did here. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Where that chem bomb is going off right now. Look where I am. Recognize that place? A year ago, everybody in the world was talking about that town. Are you talking about the chem bombs going down there today? Right here, Byron Bay, right off your coast, surfers in denial. It ain't just the sharks you got to worry about over the waters out here. The sharks are not just in casinos anymore, and they're gambling on your home. You're making gambles on technology that they have to force to be used because they've already invested money in it. They lose if you say no. It's about time they lose. They always make sure we lose so they can win. And it's time to say no to the Paris Accord and the toxifying of this area, the toxifying these beautiful forests with chemtrails and fracking and ruining your water and sickening the lungs of people and causing acid rain. across the planet when acid rain was determined to be a bad thing, and we fought it in Clean Air Acts of the 1970s, got shredded by Donald Trump in the United States by executive order, allowing more catalysts in the skies and more shit in the streams. And if you don't like hearing that, I damn sure didn't like reading about it. That's the day that I said, no, Q is fake. This guy has done it. He has now toxified my water. I love water. Water is my friend, and I will stand up for my friends. And this is toxic water in your sky is being misused. These bombs are settling on you. They're burning your skin. You're not getting sunshine some days, and you're telling me you're getting sunburn. You know what's getting burned, man? You get burned. You got burned. Burned. Remember that one? Joke's on you. I'm going to try to get Tasmania in this for you. I really wasn't planning on doing a full Monty tonight. But my last forecast, I'll do a full Monty. I'll show you naked. Oh, good. I get another liar talking about me again, by the way. This is going to get funny. Oh, no. Look at the bomb. Boom, 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 boom. Look at all this shit over the top of you. That wasn't all microwaves. There was bombs in it, too. And you better start learning about the Tiger Network, Mr. It's All Harp. Tell me it went all the way across the planet when we clearly had problems getting it all the way across the planet, and they needed actually receiver stations on the oceans, which you left out of your picture in your graph. You went too high up in the magnetosphere. The ionospheric mirror would have happened lower down. Somebody's put a graphic on to try to debunk me and says I don't know where Harp is. Oh my God, that's Gankona, Alaska. And Harp's not a location. It's an anagram for a research program. You get it right. Yeah, man. People love to preach to the choir. And then they'll start to preach to the preacher. I'll just smack you with the book. Yeah, you'll smack me with words of how you interpret things, and I'll smack you with the book and what it says. You know, I wish you'd have known Billy Hayes, because he would have really educated you on Harp and a lot of its capabilities and how they had to develop new things. And one of the biggest ones you got here is not down here at all. It's over here. It's an ESCAT. That's ASCAT radar Blenheim. It's visible from the road. You can go right up to the fence and look at it. I know, I filmed that. I got chased out of there. Went back because I didn't get the film I wanted. That's right. I went all the way over there myself. Why? Because nobody else did it. Somebody popped two of the domes, or one of them at least. I know there's a picture of it. Activists popped the fence and popped one of the domes. There are huge radar dishes in there. Yeah, two of them. Yeah, I know some things. You know, I damn sure know what an anagram game is. Uh-huh. My. Look at all the flow line here. It ain't moved. Microwave much. Look at this ball of energy here. Yeah, it's turning low. Up top's turning a bit high. See it? Boy, you got some convections going on here. That's trying. This bomb goes and that rotates like that, but the general system's like that. It's going to generate some lightning. See, that's low goes one direction, high goes another. That's vortices inside the layers of cake itself. So like having a layer cake, it's spinning each one different. And you can create a lot of dynamics if you have different metals in the layers and polymers and stuff to separate them. Yes, I said polymers. We pick them up. Pick up caulking. Yeah. Billy said there's over 100 layers up there that they picked up and used. That's subtle. Most of them you can't see. So you can see shadows on top of a layer you didn't know was there. And you'll be like, what the hell is that black thing with this over here? And I'm like, that's a shadow. How is that? Think. Thin layers, think optics, think light games, think illusion, confusion. It was all about sleight of hand, misdirection. Before you know it, you're cutting off your erection. What a fucking shame. Look at this thing blowing up over here. That's a danger one right there. That's a spinner right here. So you could expect tornadic activity with this. All the dynamics are there. All's going up north. Not good at all. Townsville got one going here. This is the can, isn't it? Boom, 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 doo 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 boom. You're having a cone. That's what it is. They're having a big cone and cone. Smoking, because that's the can. Oh, they opened up a can over cans. Yeah, I was not denying that. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, kick your legs up. Boom, 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 boom. You're gonna laugh. Why? Because if we don't, we're gonna scream right into the night. I will. As they're booming over on the boomerang there. So, Melbourne. Now you just had a big line of shit go over the top of you, and then it got going. And there's this big dot on the screen that says Melbourne, and that just never moves. And they just changed that name. I'm bored with it. Melbourne. Mountain ding dang da da ding dang dong. Mountain Big Dong. Somebody is mounting the dandelion dong. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're gonna hear some shit come out my fucking mouth. Oh my gosh, that actually is not a very healthy mix you got going over there. And Samantha Smith. You got a sail or bust. Boy, look at the waveform coming up through here, clearing out deck. Bzzz, getting fried, stray style. Let's see what's going on in National Loopy. See if we could bust a circle beam here again. Nah, they're not showing it. It was on earlier, and boy, did it blow the clouds out. Boy, is that get a hard on out to space there, huh? Bzzz. Is that a new way to use the refinery? Those hit it with some microwaves. So nothing's coming in there. You're wide open here. Total flow. It's like Alice don't even exist. Let's see if they did all the layers. Were they stupid? I mean, they just shut that feed off. They ain't showing it. Okay, let's go north and to the left. They're frying. Let's see if they show Alice. Sometimes the dumbasses, you go to the right one, they'll show it to you. I'm going to go over and to the right. And back. Now, you got a straight line one coming here. All right, let me go down. I won't catch this. Oh, I got a Doppler for this one. Where am I at now? I'm at Mount Isa, the ever guilty Isa corridor here. Boy, do they love the blast. They take it away from the big one. When you go in, you'll start to see the convections of the beams through here. So let's see if we pick it up on the Doppler. Oh, yeah, look at the fan. See it here? See the reverse flow and everything. It's beaming. Bzzz, getting fried at Isa. The heck with throwing shrimp on the barbie. They throw people in the microwaves here in Australia. They ain't playing no games. Look at the radar waves coming down through here. I imagine they're going to stop showing that soon. Why? Because I'm going to bust their balls with it. Hey, if I can bust their balls, I will. And or in American, we say, we'll burn your ass. I'm going to burn your ass. This is me burning your ass. You get burned. That's what we used to say. Yeah, that's right. See, we got to burn them sometime. That's a burn. It says, let's just turn all the radar off. So there's no clouds over Giles, right? So there's nothing here. There should be nothing over Giles. Giles should be totally devoid of cloud, which I find hard to believe. There's more clouds here than in the minds of an idiot. Oh, here's a new name. Oh, I thought it was a new name. Unnatural. I said, that must be near Cunnilingus. Yeah, sorry, but that's your name. You don't have to like it. You can kiss the Wyndhams out of my Argyle sex asses. And, oh, man, look at all these bombs. That's not just microwaves. Hey, Dave, look, I'm gonna take you to school. That's not just microwaves. Yeah, the V shape here has microwaves going through it. That's why I say it's not just microwaves. Hey, you get chemical catalysts to help propagate the waveforms. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombs there. Now it's in a square formation. Now you got a row of bombs here, 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 and here. Come on, keep up with me. I'm taking you to school. You got time. You can rewind. 1, 2, 3 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. You get the square double box there. It's going to become the Bill Gates logo. You get there the butterfly monarch effect. It's going to trigger somebody into that's not chemtrails. Right? You get a beam line right through there. Smoking, man. Smoking. How about over here? You want to see some more? It's not all microwave haze. You ever hear of aluminum hydroxide? Why don't you look how that's made? Go on. Now, I ain't going to do all your chemistry homework. But when you look it up, you find it. Look at it. Aluminum hydroxide. Make it at home. Yeah, it's not a dangerous thing. But you might want to wear a safety glasses. But it makes water cloudy like this. It'll haze out of sky very quickly. And you can make it with ingredients in the sky. As soon as they started adding bicarbonate to the sky, like they proposed an antacid for the sky, that's when it said, oh my God, you can make aluminum hydroxide. It hit me in about 10 seconds because I just do the molecule in my head. I was like, yeah, that's that. I remember making that in class. It releases ions as well. And ions is a huge part of the weather. Yep, there's a lot of ion generators around that don't get taken into effect. Like, remember the Gwen towers? Boy, they got some ion generators. A lot of these new things that you say, hey, look at those lightning rods. Well, lightning rods are ion generators. You generate ion as step leader. That can direct lightning down to a predictable ground that avoids damaging electronic circuits. Well, you know what? People short circuit when I talk about these chemtrails here over Chemstrail. When I see this big square field from far back. If you was down low, you might not see that. But from up top, you could see the formations. You could see that something, balloons are below you taking pictures here. The satellites are clearly showing. Satellites clearly showing. See the formation here? Too big to be the TRB. That's another thing I'll go at too sometimes. I do see its signature sometimes. Secret military craft that we know patents of are not unidentified. Okay? So don't think everything's a UFO if somebody's telling you look at the patent. USA. Do your homework. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombs here out to sea. This is the Great Barrier Reef getting actually buried. The Great Buried Reef, because we buried it in chem. We're absolutely mushing it with sulfuric acid on a calcium life form. Imagine throwing a cup of acid at somebody's face, but the face you threw it in was Mother Earth. And the guilt of their crime is all over the face of my mother. And I just think I've had enough. I'm going to show you what they say is going to happen. I'm going to zoom away on back. Here's your cumulations on the threes. I kind of all saying it. Come on, it has to come ashore to get here. That's a numbnut one. That's a numbnut stat. That's fairly accurate. Because I already see the blowed up storm here. I already see the blowed up storm going over here. On the fives, that's a full blown over and onto the west. I'd bring that total up a little quicker, and in probably about 4 days, you'll have that. Easily. Catherine, she coming your way. And the inundation of what they bring the rest of the tendrils ashore is a whose guess they give the 400 to, you know. That 420 isn't the pleasurable kind you'd run out to a 10. And with another 10 coming across the far north here. I gotta say, this is a fucked up situation again. Innisfail, I'm so glad I tipped you up well ahead of time. And it looks like that line was very accurate to top. It looks like Townsville, they're going to hit you with some, but they're telling you ain't getting the totals. I'm happy to say there's a big corridor here for a gap. They have to. You got to let the flow stop somewhere. The coast roads on your weekends coming home from your protests and your campings out are going to be bad again. But we also have to watch out for the fires through here as they're clearing the land to frack, get rid of any kind of endangered species. So make sure you got an endangered species to plop down in the ground that they say, hey, look, there's one here. Go away. We don't want you to inject toxic chemicals into the earth. If it don't come from the earth in a way you don't process it to get it, it shouldn't go back. If you have to take it from the earth and do something terrible to it that makes toxins all over there and pollutes the air, and then you put it back in the earth, then that ain't it. You mother the mother. You nurture your mother. You give your mother gifts and surprises. You don't hit your mother in the eye. You don't throw acid in her face. And with that said and with that done, stop dropping acid on the planet. That is all.